She brought up a great call this weekend, and I want to share some stuff with you guys. I know I put it on the video, but one of the things that I want, and having you run on the video, but one of the things that I want you guys to start thinking about when we're talking to direct to sellers is how do we relate, right? How do we create opportunity to do business with them, right? So, and I'm not putting you on the spot, but this is typical of a lot of us, right, in real estate, and especially when we're in a deal mode, right? Like when we're trying to create deals, and deals is the wording and the verbiage that we're constantly using. Like Drew and I talked about this last week. You know, we're always talking about getting contracts. We're always talking about doing deals, right? We're always talking about, you know, building revenue and all this kind of stuff. But ultimately, guys, the most successful people in any business are the ones that create real solutions to problems, right? They learn how to solve a problem with what they do and relate it to that person they're on the phone with, right? So for example, you know, I was saying this morning on the call, understanding, I don't care if you guys sell a product, a service, right, a widget, a consult session, right? Whatever you're selling, it's got to be the solution to somebody's issue or somebody's problem, right? So what do you guys, for the wholesale department, what do you guys think you sell?
Solution.
Okay. Is it a product? Is it a service?
Service.
It's a service, right?
Yeah, it's a service.
It's a service, 100%.
We're helping them out with the situation.
100%. So we are in the service business, right? We are basically in the customer service business because our customers are the buyers and sellers, right? And creating that gap between the two, or linking the gap between the two, is where we get paid, right? So I did a longer presentation on wholesaling and investing and marketing and all the shit that goes into it, right, last week with Drew and Brian for Basecamp. And ultimately, what the result of that was that we're putting a lot of different like roadblocks in front of ourselves, right? We're trying to figure out how it is to do one thing, but the reality of what we do really, really well is we're a marketing engine, right? We get to talk to a lot of sellers, which you guys are talking to. Every one of you is talking to 50 people plus per day, right? And we're able to take those conversations and then close the gap. What makes us beneficial to the buyers?
Time. You know, that time. We're allowing them to preserve a lot of their time and use it for what's best for their company to grow their business.
Absolutely.
Most effectively.
Absolutely. Real estate investors are not by nature marketers, right? They want to go take a house, they want to tear it apart, make it look pretty again, stick it on the market, make some money, right? Now, historically, 10 years ago, every real estate agent had to have a conversation with the seller to do that, right or wrong?
Correct.
Mostly, right? The wholesale game, the industry, assignments, it really didn't exist. You heard of assignments, but no one even talked about wholesale. Now it's the most popular thing out there. Why?
You can,
Because it's quick.
well, for them they can get a discount. You know?
People think it's quick. People
Yeah.
think it's easy, right? So everyone jumps into it and does it. A lot of them one-man shows. A lot of them are happy to make no money because they don't value their time and effort, right? It's a lot of good and pros and cons on the back end with wholesale. But the best wholesale companies, the ones that consistently make revenue every week no matter what, are the ones that are creating solutions for their buyers as well as the ones for the sellers.
And making it look easy. That's why to the
Yeah.
outside world it may look easy, but that's the value.
Correct.
To the buyers and the sellers.
Correct.
You know, we take the whole thing on, but then other people might see that and want to get into it because they're like, oh man, I'm seeing these guys close something every week. They don't know what.
Yeah.
Well, like for instance, he came and he was like, yeah, this shit's fucking hard to try to do on our own. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Makes sense to do it as a team.
100%. And a lot of people get into that thing because they saw a course online or they took a $200, you know, Fortune Builders seminar or something like that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But they also make it sound easy in order to entice people to buy the
program,
right? And at the end of the day, we know that there's a complicated, complex system and it costs a lot of money to do this thing, get those phones to ring, to get you guys on the phone making calls, right? But let's backtrack a second. What's the best way when we're on the phone with a customer to create that relationship, to create that deal, to close that deal?
Let
Keep
them talk
talking.
about themselves.
Right.
Open-ended questions.
Listening.
Just relating. I think once you strike a conversation and then you all have similar places y'all may know and just having relatability.
Yep.
But that's the question I have for you.
Yep.
The lady I talked to yesterday, she didn't really have no relatability because she was trying to sell to me just as much as I was trying to sell to her.
Yeah.
So when you run into those people that you can't relate to, because I found that that's when after we talked, I said that's where I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
I can get on the phone and have a conversation and have tremendous amount of consideration and empathy for that person based on that situation.
Awesome.
But those people I find that really don't want to sell or
Mhm.
doesn't have any relatability because they're weirdos, just like we are all weirdos because we're investors.
Yep.
It's hard for me to connect with weirdos on that level,
Yep.
like ourselves,
Yep.
because they're not trying to say, well, yeah, well, my car. They're not trying to expose themselves.
Sure.
When I'm dealing with people like Cynthia or people like Faye,
Yep.
I can connect with them. I can connect with them immediately
Yep.
because they really have a pain point that I can
There is
solve.
still a connection to be made there. Like, for instance, that Amy,
Yep.
the girl, she was hard-pressed saleswoman, real estate, blah, blah, blah. So exactly that. I said, okay, well, look, then I'm not even going to sugarcoat what we're doing here. We're going to do this and create a spread for us to get paid. Hopefully the number works for you. Hopefully the number works for them people. If not, I said, put it on the back burner. We'll try it again in 6 months. So there is still a relationship. And then you're relating as weirdos, as salespeople, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so you just, again, it is uncovering that. It might be harder, but there's always something to relate to.
Okay.
So I want to teach you guys a trick today that some of you may have heard of, but we're going to get deep into it, okay? It's called sell them what they need and give them what they want. Anybody ever heard of that before?
From you,
Okay. So let's break this down into sellers and buyers. So, what does a seller need? I'm sorry, I got this backwards. This is the third time I've fucking taught this way. I'm fucking doing it backwards. It's sell them what they want,
give them what they need.
and give them what they need. Woo, man.
Thought about that.
If I was good, I'd be dangerous, boys. All right. So, what does a seller want?
Feel like they won.
Could be.
Yeah.
Feel like they
They want to get rid of their property.
Okay.
Want top dollar, typically,
Hmm?
or as much as possible, you know?
Okay.
They want relief from whatever their problem is.
That's right. They want relief. What else?
They want their problem solved.
Yep. Anything else?
Most of the time, they just want to be heard.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, right, Tom, you could give them what they want and what they need, right? So they want these things, right? But what do they really need? For the most part.
They need a solution.
They need help.
They need truth.
Yep. Well, these are good. What else?
The need to sell their house.
Maybe. Maybe not,
Reality checks. I guess that's true.
right?
They're also looking for empathy. They need empathy.
Well, do they need empathy or do they want empathy, Tom?
They want it.
Oh, they want empathy.
Okay.
They don't need it.
They need an out.
Maybe. So what I want you guys to
Someone
understand,
to walk them from point A to point B.
do they need that or they want it?
well, they need it because, like you
Might
said,
need
sometimes
instruction.
they don't
They
even
need
know
that.
what they want. They don't know what they need. They need us to tell them and direct them
Yeah,
into the
that's
correct
true.
way.
Yeah, they don't want you to tell them, but really they do need you to instruct them on how this process truly works.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
So we have a whole list here, guys, right? Here's what I want you guys to understand. If you don't know what they want, we can't give them what they need, right? So, for example, but I'm on the phone with she calls me, right? I want out of the property. I've been in here for 12 years. My husband died here. This was a property we renovated together, right? She wanted to get rid of it. She didn't want to be a landlord anymore. She wanted to be relieved from being a landlord, right? Ultimately, she wanted her problem solved. She definitely wanted to be heard, right? In fact, in the first 15 minutes, again, in that call, you guys listened, I wanted to get her off the phone. I didn't think there was even a solution to be had because I was looking at the mortgage payoff, right? Instead of paying attention to what she was saying. And what she was telling me was, I don't care, I want it gone, I want relief. right? Now, what does she need to get relief?
Someone to be realistic with her.
Yes. She needed someone to give her the truth, right? Sometimes the truth is what they need in order to get what they want. Sometimes being blunt, being confident and understanding what you're doing is what helps them get what they want. But ultimately what she needs to do is sell the property, right? Now in this situation, she went through 3 different realtors in a year and a half. She had the property for rent, she had bad tenants that she had to get rid of. She doesn't want to be a landlord anymore, right? Her need is to not drive an hour both ways to come check on a property. She's relocated to Princeton, right? Her need is to feel like somebody's giving her the truth, wherever that is, and helping her, right? Whereas she doesn't feel like, right? She doesn't feel like anyone's done that for her in a year and a half, right? She feels like the realtors have kind of just bullshitted her to tell her whatever she wants to know. By the way, she's invested 30 grand into this property in the last year and a half. New updated electric, water heater, all kinds of bullshit, painted the house, new carpet, right, etc. But she still hasn't gotten what she needed out of all that. She did that because they were trying to tell her, this is what you need, this is what you got to do. If what you want is to relieve the problem, this is what you need to do. Problem is, they're talking in sugar-coated shit, right? These realtors are saying, put a carpet and paint in it and it'll sell. Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Plain and simple, right? Not all realtors, by the way. I'm talking about the ones that were on her property. We're telling her to do things instead of giving her the truth, which is, you want to sell this house, it's going to be $100,000. I know you owe $165. I don't know if that's something you're prepared for, but I want to be the one that tells you the truth, because truthfully, that's what you need to do to get what you want. To get relief from the property, you need to be at 100 grand. So we have to get them to what they need. And ultimately what they need is a solution to their problems. But we can't give them this until we know this, right? It works in this succession. If we try to sell them what they need, what happens?
They get pissed off, insulted.
They shut down.
What if you went in to buy a brand new car, right? What do we all want?
The one that's inside.
We want the hot one. We want the one with the options.
The options,
We
yeah.
want the one that's gonna fucking look awesome on the street. It's got the nice wheels, it's got the great stereo system, it's got the upgraded leather seats, I don't know, whatever, right? We want that. What do we all need?
Safe, reliable car.
We need to get the fucking point A to point B, right? But what does a great salesperson sell us on?
On what you want.
The shit that you want.
Let's take a look.
Let's talk a look at this. Hey man, my budget's $400 a month. Oh yeah, that's cool. Don't worry, I got you. Let's go talk about what you want. Let's go talk about what you want. Let's go take it for a drive. I know this car you're driving is way out of your budget. Let's take it anyway. Right? We'll worry about that later. Right? Ultimately, they're selling you what you want. It's the same reason everybody buys designer shoes or designer clothes. Right? Every one of us could go to Payless and fucking walk around all day long with those shoes, right? For a tenth of the cost, right? But we buy what we want, right? Every one of us is guilty of this, by the way. The solution comes in what we need. We're still getting what we need, by the way. You go buy the nicer car, you're getting what you need. It's still fulfilling your need. Might actually be
Fulfilling your ego.
over-fulfilling your ego, right? Same thing with the clothes. Guys, you could all wear a towel and fucking pin it on your body and walk around, right? You'd be just as covered.
You might get in trouble for that.
Don't do it.
Right?
That's more than I wear at home.
Yes, I heard. It's true.
All right, so we got the seller piece down a little bit. Let's talk about the buyers for a second. What do the buyers want?
They want a good deal.
Okay, what's that mean?
They want the best deal.
Low, dirt cheap.
They want it for half. They want to hit 50% off.
They want to definitely feel like they won.
Okay. What else do they want to feel like?
They know everything.
They want to feel that they are the number
They
one.
telling
buyer.
you that it's not 200 ARV, it's only 150. I know this.
Yeah, but what do they want, Chief? What do they want?
Oh God.
They want to make money,
Of course.
right? They're business people. This is what I love about most of our buyers. Okay? At the end of the day, they need money. They want to make money. They're buying these things to turn over an ROI. Cash flow monthly, cash up front when it closes, right? Flipping it, whatever they got to do. They want money. That's what they want. What do they need?
A solid deal that they can make money on.
Good investment, yeah. It's a good investment.
What else do they need?
You need assurances that they will make money.
They need the deals.
They need inventory,
Mm-hmm.
right? None of them make money without inventory. So, I'm an investor, I want to buy properties. What's happening in today's market?
Everybody's an investor, wants to buy properties.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's apparently a seller.
Yep.
That's properties.
The chick that works at the Walmart checkout cash register is an investor, right? She's flipping a house on the side, okay? Everybody and their mother is a wholesaler. What happens then?
Lack of inventory,
Folks in the
competition,
They're getting inundated. What's the word? Inundated with,
Got a deal.
Deals.
Got a deal. Got a deal.
right? But we know that they need inventory, right? And we know that they need a decent deal to make that number work, right? They want this stuff. So how do we find them something where they feel like they want?
Get better deals.
No, I think it's in the delivery. And that's what I'm finding.
100%.
It's in the delivery.
100%.
It's how we bring it to them. Hey, I called you first.
That's how they feel like they want, right here. They feel like they can make money at it, and they got the opportunity from us before anybody else. Okay? That's what they want.
And I think in there too is a little stroke of the ego. The
100%.
buyers love the ego. I mean,
100%.
you know, and when you stroke that a little bit, they're like, Joffrey, for instance, he said it. Hey, thank you for considering me. He goes, that's actually flattering for considering me a serious investor that you're looking to form a relationship with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
Guys, people want to they either want their wants or they want to escape their fears. Okay? So it's either they want to go after they want, or in a lot of cases they want to run away from fear. Right? So when you show them that they can make money, that's a want. When you show them other people are going to make money if you don't take this deal, what is that called?
FOMO.
FOMO. Right? Again, everyone in this room has FOMO of something. Okay? It's the reason why you go hang out with the fucking crew of people that you don't want to hang out with anymore and have drinks. Right? Because you're afraid something's going to go down while it's happening there, right? It's the reason why you still hang out with those friends from when you were a kid that you know aren't getting you anywhere, right? Because you're afraid, God forbid, one of them actually has some success in life and I'm not there to see it, right? It's the reason why people buy deals that might stretch the limits of what they need, but they still go through them anyway. And I want to tell you guys, in the hundreds and hundreds of deals that Brian and I have done, we've lost money, right? We've broken even, right? We've made a lot of money. Brian, how many times have I faulted the wholesaler for the deals we lose money on?
Never.
Never. Not once. Ever.
The wholesalers are not buying that deal.
The wholesale's not the one buying it, right? We just got done closing Orman. It took us a fucking year to do the deal, and the wholesaler made 20 G's, right? I don't think good for him. I don't think we made $1.
GC.
Is it his fault that it took us 12 months to do the deal? Is it his fault that 3 buyers backed out during home inspection? Is it his fault that some asshole home inspector thought there was an underground tank when there wasn't? Right? None of that's his fault. And none of it is our fault either. When we're dealing with professionals, they're going to go after what they want, they know what they need, and they're solvent in that. So if they buy a deal and we make 10 grand, if they lose 10 grand, they're not thinking about us. If they are, they're the wrong people to work with. Right? What else do they need on that note?
Consistency.
Yeah, I was gonna say uniformity, but yeah, consistency.
Consistency, guys.
Yeah.
They want deal flow. They don't just want the deal. They want to know that they can come back to you and get every deal. They want to know that they're VIPs. They want to know that they're special. They want to know that you're paying attention to what their inventory levels are like. Right? And how do we control that flow? How do we control that pipeline?
Communication.
You communicate. You follow.
This is a question for you, Drew, just in case.
Sorry.
Yeah. How do we control consistency on the buyer side?
It's identifying those VIPs and going to them first. Always going to them first. And if they're not interested, okay. But look, I wanted to call you first.
But what if you just sold me 4 deals last month and that's more than I can handle? You coming to me first?
It's more than you can handle. What, for yourself or?
I'm a buyer. I'm an investor, and you sold me 4 deals last month. Another deal pops up in my pipeline. You coming to me directly with it and saying buy this one?
Why not?
I'm going to come and give you the option.
Yeah, why
Absolutely.
not?
Why not? I would find it to be insulting if I didn't.
What's the bush?
Well,
2 former presidents.
Close.
making a comeback.
God, you guys might be able to answer this. I've fucking done this in front of the room 65 times. Heather, you don't know what bush
I've
is?
never saw this, no. Actually, I've never seen this one.
All right.
Buyer, seller.
This is the investor diagram, right? They're either buying, selling,
Underwater.
unsure,
No.
or holding. Okay? So, if I'm capable of doing 4 a month, and I bought 4 of them from you last month, and you come back to me with a deal and I say no, what's that mean?
Means that you're holding.
Yeah.
Or I'm flipping, so maybe I gotta sell them.
Yeah.
So I gotta sell inventory before I can buy again.
Yeah.
Right? Or you come to me and I had a bad month and I'm not sure if I'm gonna go back into car sales because real estate sucks.
You're not a real investor.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Where do I fit on the chart?
Unsure.
I'm unsure.
Yeah.
Right? Or you come to me and I say, I'm Joe McCabe and I'm gonna buy every fucking turnkey property you have. Right? What's he doing?
Buy.
It's holding.
He's doing both. Right? He's holding. He's holding tight. But he's also expanding on the holding. Right? So, back to the consistency piece. What makes a dispo person special in the eyes of the buyer are the ones that are going to know their inventory, right? Know what's on the market, know what's getting delivered, know what's going to closing. Hey, those 4 I sold to you last month, keeping on track of them. How's Williams doing? How's Main Street doing? How's Elm Street doing, right? Where are we at with it? By the way, we talked about getting Heather involved. Let's get her listed, right? Getting that listed, turning around. Now the deal, I know it's under contract, settle at the end of the month. Hey, you got a deal closing in February 15th. Good news. I got another one right behind it that lines up, right? This is a major need, and it's what makes dispo guys the most professional. Knowing your buyer's inventory, and that is a form of empathy, right? Relating to them, understanding what they need, understanding if they're making their spreads, understanding if it's good or bad, right? When's the next one coming up? How can I help you fill your pipeline? How can I create opportunity outside of just selling you deals?
So basically, he's a franchiser. What he's saying is that he's consistently dishing out work like McDonald's, food consistently to this one down the street. They have to make sure they know how many burgers they have,
100%.
if they're making revenue, what their revenue looks like, what their foot traffic looks like. The person who's over top, he's keeping, oversight of what all the stores are doing. So if I'm buying, he needs to know what I got on, like you said, just keeping track of all that.
So remember, we're in a service business, guys, right? So what if Amazon
Amazon's.
didn't email me every fucking 3 days, right? What if I clicked on that, whatever I clicked on, and that thing didn't pop up in front of me constantly, right? They're servicing, it's customer service. They're saying, hey, you read this book, I think you'd like to read that book, right? You bought this thing, I think you'd like to buy that thing, right? Last week I saw you shopping for, I just got done buying organizational containers, like Tupperware things for my kitchen, right? It's fucking hitting me with, hey, you bought this, why don't you buy that? Right? I see your cereal organization is a fucking disaster. Maybe your potato chip organization is equally as bad. Right?
That's cool.
But what does it get them? Continuous, predictable income and continuous repeat buyers because they look at it as a service.
Well, yeah, to relate it, Drew, like I haven't quite brought it out this eloquently, but just last week we were talking about these couple of deals that we thought were deals and we weren't getting any traction on them, weren't getting any feedback on them. And I said, well, what about GC? GC said he's real. He wants to buy multiple properties in South Jersey area. Like these are legit properties. And sure enough, a phone call. Yeah, I'll look at both of them.
Yeah.
And he's running out and checking them out. So again, that ties all into this. That's what this is. Knowing who your buyers are, what they're looking for, and putting it in front of them so that they can act on it.
And by the way, GC's needs are superseding his wants. Like, he doesn't come here and say to us, I need the cheapest deal. I need to feel like I won, right? Mm-hmm. Right? What he's saying is, I need consistency. I need a solid deal. I need to close every week. Right? So he's showing us his needs instead of really talking from his wants. Mm-hmm. When does that happen, by the way?
When you have a serious buyer.
When you start to build a relationship.
You have to constantly be wooing them. It's a wooing relationship, and you're always in that early butterflies, gives me chills stage, and you need to keep at that. You're constantly in a relationship.
Yes and no.
To me, this is nothing more than account management. This is calling them every week, whether you have something to sell or not, just checking in. How are things going? Just like you said, hey, that property on Oak, did you, what's going on with that?
Yep.
This is account management.
Yep, perfect. So, in both scenarios, buyer and seller, and I'll leave it at this, and let you guys get back to work, right? That X factor we just talked about, that relationship status, right? Once we figured out their needs and wants, we've solved the problem for them. Now we have a relationship. That's where things start to explode, right? That's where we can start to blow the relationship up. Now we have opportunity. Hey, you trust me. You like doing business with me. You don't care about my assignment fee. I'm going to bring you consistent deals. Cool, go look at this one, right? It happens, by the way, guys, with sellers as well. This is what I want you guys to understand. When you have empathy and you understand their wants and you solve it with their needs, what happens?
They're going to trust you.
It's a magic R word.
Relationship.
Retention.
Referrals, right? Sellers are huge for referrals when we build the relationship, right? When you get through a closing, and guys, I've been doing this for years and years and years, okay? I can name on one hand how many sellers were mad at us at closing, right? They're always, no matter how fucked up the relationship is, what happens, at the end of the day, you solved their need, okay? Even if you skip their wants, by the way, right? And one other thing says, a side note, the people who are desperate, right? It's very easy to skip over their wants and jump right to their needs. And that's a dangerous place to be. Because we're trying to solve what their need is by just giving it right to them and not selling them on their wants. No matter how desperate they are, they still want something.
You use the car. So if you walked in and said, I want this,
Yeah.
and then the guy went, hey, look, you probably can't afford that.
Yeah.
Here's what you need.
All right, fine.
Let's
exactly.
Let's look at this car. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I can't afford it.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
like, fuck yourself.
Let's go look at this cheap ass car over here because
Yeah.
it's going to support your needs and fuck your wants.
Yeah, no, you don't know.
Right? And you're going to be like, God damn it, I'm just so desperate, I don't care, I got to get to work, just give me the fucking thing, sign here. All right, boom. A week later, that guy's like, man, this fucking car is a piece of shit. For an extra $50 a month, I could be driving the one with the nicer wheels and the bigger and the leather seats and why the fuck didn't he upsell me?
Yeah, why?
Right?
Why did he know?
Well, because people want to be sold.
They do.
And this is what we have to understand as salespeople, guys. Selling someone to do something in a slimy, fucked up way is never the right thing to do. But selling somebody as a professional, understanding their wants, understanding their needs, and then delivering a product that meets those things is the highest paying job on the planet.
Yeah.
When you learn how to do it this way.
Holding your hand.
Okay? So, don't ever skip over their wants even though they're telling you to. Again, this goes back to the script. It goes back to the reason we wrote it, right? It's asking better questions. It's getting deep with somebody. I will tell you one more thing, and then I keep saying one more thing, I'll stop. How many times we get a deal under contract, Brian, for it sounds too good to be true, and we lock it up, and then it gets fucked up? Right? Yeah. The desperate people that call you and say, just take this thing off my hands, I don't care, I gotta get rid of it, right? And you're like, holy God, is this my lucky day or what? Here, let me send you this contract for 50 grand. Then you find out there's a fucking great uncle who's got a fucking piece of the deal and the payoff is 150 grand more than you paid, and there's an underground oil tank and a fucking Indian burial ground in the backyard. Like, guys, if you don't learn their wants, You can't just solve their needs. Period.
Or they're in jail.
Or they're in jail. How about the one that we had? We bought the house and he was in jail, and then we could never buy the house. That was a smoking hot deal,
That was a smoking hot deal.
right? We didn't ask enough questions.
It was too good to be true, probably.
Too good to be true. So, all right, I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to keep beating you guys, but look, start thinking about this on every call you're on this week. I don't care if it's your team members. I don't care if it's a buyer, if it's a title company, if it's a seller, if it's each other, right? I'm constantly thinking about how do I help everybody with their wants and then give them what they need. Right? Giving them what they need will create an opportunity to give them what they want. Cool?
Fabulous.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate you guys.